Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
It's television. It's Friday, 17th May 2024, and what a beautiful day to be in the land of the living. I am Adana Kumbi, and I'll be taking you through our program this morning, and I'm telling you it's a special program this morning, and you want to stay tuned from the beginning all the way down to the very end. It's always a pleasure when you choose to stay with us as we bring you information as it relates to things happening in and around the Tobago. Remember, it's an exciting program this morning, and you don't even want to miss 1 minute of it. So log on right now, call a friend, call a neighbor, call somebody and let them know Tobago Updates morning show is on. But before we get into all the excitement of our program this morning, let's head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
News in 90 seconds is brought to you by Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Friday, May 17th, 2024. A dancehall artist appeared virtually before Master Sukraj Goswami on May 16th for the shooting of 6 in Speyside, Tobago. Kalanji Arta, 26 of Goldsboro, was granted bail of $1 million with surety or alternatively $100,000 bail. On bail. The matter is set for hearing on February 26, 2025. Arta was charged on May 15th with 6 counts of wounding with intent to do grievous bodily harm, shooting with intent, possession of a firearm to endanger life, possession of ammunition to endanger life, possession of a firearm and possession of ammunition. The charge was laid by Sergeant Shepard of the Charlottesville Police Station. The investigations was led by Superintendent Rodel Kerr with inquiries conducted by members of the Tobago Division, including officers from the Charlottesville Police, Roxborough Police, Criminal Investigations Department, Tobago Divisional Task Force, K9 Unit, and the Criminal Records Office. Up next, Head of Water and Sewerage Authority in Tobago Region, Brian Williams, addressed the challenges posed by recent hot weather and the measures being taken to mitigate water issues. Williams explained that below average rainfall and prolonged high temperatures have led to a decrease in the island's water supply. He highlighted that Colon Water Treatment Plant, which serves Southwest Tobago and the tourism hub, has seen its output drop daily since January. However, to address this water supply challenges by the climate change, WASA plans to construct a new treatment plant in Goldsboro, a desalination plant in Charlottesville, install a new pipeline along Storby Local Road, and build new booster stations in Bloody Bay and Castara. And finally, citizens are using higher amounts of electricity to beat the heat, with the mayor recording the highest usage to date. Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission reported continuous increases in demand, surpassing previous peak 5 times, with the highest demand reaching 1456.2 million megawatts on May 15th. Despite having sufficient installed capacity to meet the surge, TNTech noted that the increased demand has led to higher natural gas usage and encouraged conservation to mitigate the impact on natural gas availability. The TNT Meteorological Service predicted above average temperatures and short duration of hot spells from April to June. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Life is good with Zero. Zero interest for 6 months. Zero down payments. Zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards, my terms, we are putting the power of Zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Thank you, Biano, for our news there in 90 seconds. And remember, I told you it's an interesting and exciting program this morning, and I gave you sufficient time to phone everyone you know to get them logged on this morning to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. It gives me great pleasure, an honor and a privilege to introduce you this morning to our very, very special guest host. Drum roll. and over to our guest host this morning.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, and certainly welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Is that kind of feel-good morning? Yes, I am Julian Skeet, but sitting in here this morning as guest host on the Tobago Updates morning show. Good morning to you, Adana. Good morning to all our viewers, all our listeners. They probably haven't heard this voice
in a long
time.
Yes, and I've been calling them Auntie on your behalf.
Yes.
So I was calling everybody Auntie and saying this is from Julian Skeet. So go ahead, Julian, and say good morning to all your aunties.
So much indeed. You know, good morning each and every one of you. All of you on the outside there in the mix. Marilyn Spencer, Joe Field, Pearl Murray Beard, Mrs. Charles out there in Susulans, Lisa James, connecting in the mix, folks, to each and every one of you. I really want to say thank you so much indeed. I've received the calls, the messages, the posts, all the information on the outside there, you know, and this morning I'm really just taking the opportunity indeed to say thanks. But we will certainly continue those conversations. Indeed, it feels good.
Yes.
It feels good. There's a level of, you know, when you're accustomed to this for so long.
Yes.
Certainly indeed.
And me sitting here like a proud, big little sister, you know, just sitting here with you again. I'm just really so happy for you, Julian. You know, it brings me such great pride to know that, you know, young people from Tobago are really stepping up and taking on responsibilities to make meaningful decisions that impact the lives of others. And you know, the fact that you are in a position where you influence young people as well, and they can look up to you and see the rewards of your hard work. So congratulations to you. But before we get into all of that, go ahead. I'm going to give you the honor.
We're diving straight on over into our birthday shout outs here this morning.
That's right. And first on screen and celebrating a birthday is Kimberly Kwashi. Kimberly Kwashi is celebrating a birthday today. And Kimberly, we want to wish you a happy birthday. We pray God's blessings upon your life. And we do hope that you enjoy your birthday, coming to you from all of us here at the Tobago Updates television family.
And we have on screen Pamela O'Geese. Good morning to you and a happy birthday. Indeed, continued blessings going out to Pamela O'Geese, certainly making strides and having an impact out there. One of our senior officers in the Election and Boundaries Commission. Continue to do your very best in terms of leading with excellence, and we wish you a happy birthday and continued blessings.
And we celebrate with Kalisha Woodley. Kalisha Woodley is also celebrating a birthday today. And Kalisha, we want to wish you the very best. We pray God's blessings upon your life, even as you head on into the weekend. We do hope that the celebrations, you have a fun time celebrating there with your family and friends and loved ones. And we wish you God's continued blessings upon your life. So happy birthday to you.
As we continue to celebrate, it is the month of May, and this is a birthday shout out going out to none other than Heidi. And this is coming from the entire family, wishing you a happy birthday. I understand that you are in fact seated, waiting patiently before you head on out this morning. And we want to take the time out just to wish you a happy birthday, God's continued blessings, and indeed may you continue to achieve all that you wish and hope for as you go forward.
Yes, happy birthday, Heidi. And celebrating belated birthday greetings, Nikisha Mayhew Dennis. Yes, it was her birthday in the week, and we want to say happy belated birthday to you. And you know, even as you head on into the weekend, we know that the celebrations are going to continue. So we want to wish you the very best birthday that you could ever possibly have. Enjoy the time with your family, your friends, and your loved ones. Do have a beautiful and wonderful birthday. Happy belated birthday to you. And it's that kind of weekend, celebrating a birthday today. It's my cousin. Yes, I'm going to big up my cousin. This is Luan Combi. Luan is celebrating a birthday today, and I want to say happy birthday to you, my darling cousin. Yes, my little cousin there in the countryside celebrating today. Happy birthday to you. I pray God's blessings upon your life. I do hope that you have a wonderful birthday today and enjoy special moments with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones, and have a beautiful weekend as well. And not to be left behind, it's my father, yes, Jeremiah Comby. He also is celebrating a birthday, but his birthday is tomorrow. And if you know him at all, the celebrations will begin from today and it might last until the end of May. I don't know, but we're just saying happy birthday to you, Daddy, coming to you from all of us here, all of your children, your wife, your grandchildren, and everyone who loves you. We want to say happy birthday to you, and we do hope that you enjoy, and we pray God's blessings upon your life. So happy birthday to you.
I am gently reminded, viewers, that indeed this is a marvelous month. And when I see Daddy in the lineup as well for Dan, I know that she will agree, and she is correct. I'm preparing to celebrate that birthday. It's officially next week, Wednesday, but trust me, the celebration started as at the beginning of May, as I told you when I greeted you in that very early show at the beginning of May. It's a marvelous May. It's a miraculous May. Indeed, all the beautiful things that you can think of comes with the month of May. I would just say it's, for me, it's the best month in the year, and I'm sure that there are many on the outside there that will agree. Adana will agree by extension because certainly of that connection.
That's right, that's right. I guess there are 12 best months in the year because everyone could say my month is the best. But of course, it's a beautiful month and beautiful people are celebrating in this month, so we want to join with them. Excellent. You might be wondering, who are we speaking to this morning? Well, we have a special segment this morning, and that segment is all about reflections and best wishes to our very dear guest host. And you want to be here for that conversation. You want to be here to see how that unfolds and to see all the messages that are coming in. And then in our sports segment, we speak with Fitzstephen Neptune, Tobago Junior Golf Academy. We're talking about golf opportunities for Tobago. Remember that there are so many opportunities for young people in Tobago, especially in the sporting arena. And so we want to have that conversation as well to see where these opportunities can lead and to see where these young people can be established in the sporting industry. So stay with us as we have those conversations this morning. You don't want to miss it, and I want you to remind you to call everybody. We want to be online this morning. We want to celebrate this morning. It's a beautiful Friday morning. We're heading on into the weekend. We're having wonderful conversation. We have a beautiful guest host, and so we want to hear what is happening here this morning. And so, Julian, before we start the conversation, what are we going to do?
We're going to remind them to
share the live, share the live, share the live.
Never ever worry. 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 For the many stages of your life, Tata Life.
I can't live without you, I can't be without you for too long. Cause when I'm around you, I feel like the heavens is coming down. I feel it in my soul every time we on the road, it's a miracle. A million strong come together.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Need a fresh start? Upgrade your life with the things you want. At Standard Distributors in Canaan, life is good with zero. Get that amazing fridge, the stylish sofa with zero down and easy financing. Your dream house is within reach. Visit Standard Distributors today. Life is good with zero.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you for staying with us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in with us. And in case you missed the introduction, we have a special guest host in studio this morning, and we're going to be having conversations, him and I, this morning, so you want to stay locked in as we have those conversations. We're here with Julian Skeet. Julian Skeet, of course, is one of the foundation hosts of the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, and so we're just going to have a little moment of reflection with Julian. You know, he's in a new position now, but we're here this morning and we're going to talk about his journey to where he is now, and you know, the time that he spent here on the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. So Julian, we're going to get on into it one time.
Good morning, good
Julian.
Morning. It feels different.
Yes, I know that way.
Sitting on this side, but I'm certain it's good practice. Should the opportunity come up.
That's right. Get your practice in early.
New area of responsibility.
That's right. Because you know, we might be having this kind of conversation with you just sitting on the other seat, you understand? But you know, we just want to talk a little bit about your time here. What are some of the most memorable moments you had working with Tobago Updates Television, whether it's in studio or events you might have covered on the outside, relationships you formed and stuff like that?
I think for me, and you know, I wanted to start off this morning by really extending a sincere thanks and appreciation to our viewers, our listeners, and the public far and wide. You know, for those who may be looking on and wondering and probably thinking that I was out on vacation. Not the case, you know, the circumstances as would have been mentioned. Just to be more specific, I would have taken up responsibilities and was appointed as a new administrator in the Tobago House of Assembly. I've been in the Tobago House of Assembly for just about 15 years plus of service, working in terms of developing and honing my skill sets and so on. And I would have had the opportunity and was successful at the process, and therefore I'm happy now to be taking on this new responsibility. As you'd realize, across the Assembly, there are several who are transitioning from their period of service and now taking up appointments in the Tobago House of Assembly, a change somewhat to what might have been the recent circumstances of acting administrators. So certainly I am thankful indeed for that blessing, and you know, I can describe it most aptly. You know, you turn to the scriptures in these times, right. Psalm 75 to be particular, looking at the fact that indeed the favor that brings promotion comes from God.
That's right.
It comes from God, because if one were to ask me last week, last year, last month, you know, I probably may not have been able to envision what would have taken place at the beginning of May in terms of taking up this new responsibility. And particularly for me, I want to kind of juxtapose that against when I began here. Back in October of 21, and I hope I'm quoting the year right. You know, because it seems like so much time has gone. It was a similar kind of diving into a new experience. Being in that time, being approached, you know, the stalwarts and they behind the visionaries, Nana and the team behind, you know, updates and really pushing to bring a new kind of paradigm to Tobago in terms of media. And really and truly, at the time, and I have to also take the opportunity to recognize when I started at the time with my very good colleague and friend up to today, Rhea Richardson George. You know, when I started, I think that was one of the first questions that I asked Parks and the team: who am I going to be starting with for this opportunity? And it really was what I would describe as an interesting but certainly an excellent and rewarding start. And I'm pleased to indicate, having started at that time with Rhea Richardson George, one of the things we used to say very early is, and in fact I found myself repeating it this morning, coming out on mornings to do this show, to engage, it's really one of those passions and blessings coming from the Lord, because it didn't feel like work.
Right.
You honestly felt like you were coming to engage with the public, you were coming to connect with your viewers and listeners, and you were really just doing your part in helping to bring what was a new approach to media, and what is in fact a new approach to media in Tobago. And in fact, you thought you were just bringing it in Tobago.
That's right.
And very quickly, Tobago updates and indeed continued blessings over the time would have skyrocketed and shot to the point of Tobago updates set trends on a regional and international level, not even just local. And you got a clear signal of that when you began to see changes in other morning programs in Trinidad and Tobago. Classic birthday shout out started right here.
That's of course, yes.
Right here on Tobago Updates. Now, it's good to see that other elements of media being able to come on set on a formal morning program without a tie.
That's right. That's
It
right.
started right here.
That's right.
Changing the status quo. And really and truly, I am so grateful for the visionaries behind Tobago Updates that would have realized that there is room for that difference while still maintaining a high and exceptional quality. And one of the things you asked about, and I think my highs mainly, having been here for that period, I think this year, just over 2 years, this year would make it 3 years since the operations of updates, would have certainly been those opportunities to be on the outside.
I know, we outside, outside.
And those images most definitely are a reminder of that. Those opportunities to be able to be on the outside, it was kind of, you're looking forward. Wow, I haven't seen that photo in a while. You're looking forward to that memory and so on. Most certainly those were exciting. And I think one other highlight for me, definitely, and I remember this interview in particular, man, with my goodly friend on the outside there, coming out of Bishop's High School,
right, yes.
the minority leader. And you would have had earlier photos also my good friend similarly out of Bishop's High School, the Honorable Chief Secretary.
That's right.
In the mix. And a number of these interviews and connections, but certainly the inspiration above all, after God, is most certainly the viewers and listeners.
Yes.
Because it was only weeks into this show when I began to, in the usual conduct of my daily business and work, recognize that so many were tuning in Tobago. And I went to meetings and business commitments in Trinidad, and then I recognized they're tuning in in Trinidad. And then when you in the international lounge and you have people coming in and so on, and you have them talking about you are the man that's supposed to share the life.
That's right.
It sent a good signal, because that's when you got the confirmation that it's not just happening here for Tobago, but the vision of the entity is going far and wide.
All right. That was a mouthful there. That was, your heart on your sleeve there, expressing your gratitude, of course, for being here, the love and support that you've received. And we want to take a quick call this morning. There's somebody on the line. Who is on the line this morning to wish? There we are. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Sec.
Good morning to all our viewers. I trust that you guys are hearing me clearly.
Yes,
we are.
Loud and clear.
Yes. Good morning, Miss Lady Adana. And I wonder if that's okay. Yes, Adana the lady. Let me put it that way.
That's right. That's all right.
And Mr. Skeet. So Skeet, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I just wanted to take the opportunity, of course, to greet and to salute and to say how excited and elated I am personally to see your elevation into this new position. I have observed your trajectory, quietly and so on, and I know that you play a significant role in the direction that we want to go as an island, and you are now afforded this opportunity from an administrative standpoint, and I know that the Tobago will be for the better because of this elevation. So it is my honor to wish you all of God's best and everything. I know you will do well. There's no question about that. You understand? I believe that you have all the tools and the skill set to excel. And we are just so excited, and we wish that everything that you, even that which you desire personally, for your own self in terms of your own personal development and so on, that those things will be realized. So blessings, my brother, power and strength. You understand?
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
very
man,
much indeed.
and keep on keeping on, man. Don't let nothing stop you. Keep on keeping on.
Most certainly, and I really do appreciate that, because for most of you who don't know, and let me also say to you, good sir, congratulations as you continue on that pathway of service, most definitely to Tobago. For most of you who don't know, this is not just Pastor Baines to me. In fact, in my journey and in those years I mentioned, in terms of my work in youth and community service, I had the pleasure and the distinction of working with Secretary Baines, and some may not have even known, but certainly working and making that connection. And I really want to thank you most obviously for what you brought to the division in that period, in terms of you brought your own style, your own dynamics in terms of how you wanted to move communities, youth and sport here in Tobago. And most certainly I know that you will continue to make that contribution. And of course, the pastor side always comes in with his motivation and encouragement when we're having those one-on-ones. We may be making hard decisions, but he will say, don't worry, God is going to assist you with it. You might have an idea we're getting it done now, but he's going to guide us to be able to work it along. So I want to say thank you so much indeed, Pastor Terence Baines. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Yes.
So Julian,
I now understand why, because I'm saying if I'm just doing an interview with Adana, why do I need headsets?
No, you see, we got things under cover here, man. We got it under wraps.
Yes,
and I share with his sentiments as well, and I know that you are equipped with the tools, and you've been around, as you said, 15 years working in the service, and I've seen your work. I know your work. I know you personally, and I know your work. We worked together there at Education way back then. And even from then, you were very passionate and very committed to what you are doing. You always led. You're a good leader in terms of my observation of you, leading the youth department there within that division. And, always having a vision, always having an idea. And the fact that you can influence people to mobilize them into action, to go along with your ideas. And so I know, as he said, that you are well equipped based on your experience and based on the work that you have been doing. So I know that you will do well. And I want to segue into a little message coming in from one of our friends here from Tobago Updates Television. You spoke a little bit about your friendships that you formed.
Yes.
And so we're going to have a little message for you from one of your very special friends.
Promotion comes from God. Julian, congratulations. I'm really happy for this new endeavor, really happy for you, and I'm continuing to pray that God is going to continue to bless you and have his way on your life. When we both started to work together at Tobago Updates, we were already friends. But Julian, over the period of time, we became more than friends. You are my older brother. You're just a few years younger than I, but I certainly respect you and certainly look up to you. Julian, there's never been a day that you've not stood by me. We've been through some very thick times, but Julian, you've stood by. And together we continue to grow. So I want to wish you all the best. God's speed, God's continued blessings upon you. You can do this. God is going to continue to make a way. So love and blessings to you, Julian.
Thank you so much. And Rhea Richardson, George, indeed, oh gosh, I don't know if I were,
feeling the
if
emotions.
I were a crying person. No is when you will see those tears coming forward from me. And I'm so appreciative of that, because when you start a journey together, you always hope that it will happen in such a way that, oh my God, let it not start in a stressful and tense way. And starting indeed with the inspiration and encouragement from Rhea, and all the talks and chats that I put out to the entire family. Oswald George, good morning to you. And the entire team. It was really that kind of inspiration that led me to continue to say, no matter what, it it didn't feel like work.
Yes.
It just felt like an opportunity. You are coming here in the morning, the levels of interaction, and as Rhea said, well beyond the show itself, we were able to form that kind of bond and friendship and relations. You know, and I also want to salute and certainly to shout out persons in the mix that would have started off, you know, also part of that journey. Cassie in the mix, Candice Jackson, my fellow birthday twin on the outside there. We both celebrate next week, Wednesday, the 22nd of May. A marvelous and miraculous May indeed. Majestic May. Aliyah Holder and Dwayne starts off with the, you know, those who started in terms of the lineup with Youth Wednesday. Friends and colleagues of Tobago Updates, Woods himself and the entire team, all those, Lisel James and each and every one of you that continue to be that exceptional support. Natalie that I met in the mix connecting here, I mean, and the entire team, and Adana, the names could go on and on.
Right.
And right up to sitting here with you, Adana, today. And I really want to, you know, extend my very best wishes indeed. And I want to say, if it's one thing I've had the privilege of, is certainly being able to work and to interact with good, you know, good men and women over this entire period of my journey here. And it has certainly rekindled, refreshed, and in fact, people I have met that are new, that I know I will continue to interact with over the tenure, and people who I have known from before, most certainly that I will continue to engage with. I want to say thank you so much. It feels so good guest hosting here.
And of course, getting the same signals from the team behind the camera, you know, the same signals.
Most certainly.
We have another message for you, Julia. We want you to listen to this other message.
Dear Julian Skeet, it's been my immense pride and joy watching you grow from being my prefect at Bishop's High School to being an inspiration for young people, to being a voice of reason in Tobago, to being my co-host at Tobago Updates, and of course, for being in such a crucial role for Tobago's future. I just want to tell you how proud I am of you, how privileged I feel to be a part of your life and to have known you for as long as I have known you. I also want to say that, you know, I am proud to say that we're even from the same village. You really are an inspiration to many here in Tobago, and I wish you all the best of luck in this new role. I know you will do well. You were meant for greatness. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you and how much you are valued and loved. So for me, Candice Jackson, I just want to say good luck in this new role and God bless, as I know you will continue to do great.
Thank you so much. I feel it's like y'all have me talking and then I don't know this is who you're going to bring up next. And people will think this is prepped and I'm planning all these names. Thank you so much indeed.
And the thing about it is that everybody's echoing the exact sentiments, knowing that you have the capacity to do the work, reminding you to rely on God. We heard Rhea talking about it. We heard Pastor Baines talking about it, and also Candice. And so, you know, we know that you are equipped with the skills to do this work. And I just want to take a moment to read a few messages from our viewers online, of course, this morning, coming from Pearl Murray Beard. Good morning, Mr. Skeet. Welcome. Sometime in the week, actually, when, you know, she usually sends her good morning, and it's usually good morning, Mr. Skeet, good morning, Miss Cumby. And one morning I read Miss Cumby alone and I felt so lonely. I said, oh gosh, Julian boy. But I'm so happy for where you are as well. We have a message here from Brenda Campbell saying, hi, Julian. We also have Julia Brown. Hey, Julian, it's nice to see you. You have been missed. You know, everyone just sending love to you. This is Cheryl Solomon saying, Adana, you are bubbling with smiles this morning. Julian, congratulations. You are deserving of this position. Sharon Comey, that's my mom, saying congratulations to you, Julian. Julia Brown again, Mr. Skeet, I'm so happy for you on your new endeavor. God's grace. Thank you for the time you gave us on Tobago Updates. I wish you nothing but the best. Someone said, can someone please ask me why? Julia Brown again, can someone please ask me why am I crying? You know, everybody is just in, it's so happy to hear that you're crying. And the reason why we're not crying is because we're on air. there. But the emotions are running high, and we really are happy for you, Julian. We are proud of you. We are happy to have worked with you, and we can brag and say, oh, I know Julian. Just like those people you meet when you travel and go to meetings, when they reach out to you, we feel the same way. And from me personally, I want to say the very best to you. When I got the news informally, oh gosh, you could ask my mother. Ask Ronell, you can ask these people. I was just like, it was as if it was my own child or someone that has my blood running through their veins. I was so happy for you, primarily because I know the person that you are. I know that you are a no-nonsense person. As much as you love to have fun, your primary focus is on growth and development. And so I know where you are positioned, you will give your best. I know that you will, ensure that all the policies are upheld, and that you will look for ways to even improve where you are, to bring new ideas and to, explore new ways of doing things to ensure that the position you hold is effective and impactful. So I just want to pray God's blessings upon your life. I wish you the very best. The time we spent here together, people don't even know the things that happen off camera, And so I just want to say thank you so much for sharing this space with me. Thank you so much, for being who you are. Continue to impact lives. Continue to be the very best version of yourself. Continue to give of yourself wherever you go, and just know that, God is with you. And as Pastor Bain said, and as Rhea said, that he will guide you through it. And before we wrap, we have another message that you must listen to.
Congratulations to you, Julian. Congratulations. Good morning. Congratulations to you on your appointment to administrator, specifically right now in the division of tourism. And I know you love the culture, you're passionate about Tobago's tourism, and also to transportation, because I know many of times you've spoken about the connectivity between the islands. So I know God has appointed you in this position at this time. Tobago updates, we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you a lot, tremendously. You're one of the first hosts to jump on this project at Tobago Updates, and we are grateful for all your support. And it's been a very interesting 2.5 years, and we just all want to say congratulations again, best of luck, and
Thank you so much indeed. And I always say that gentleman, Mr. Nana himself, William Nana, one of those that came forward with this grand vision, and certainly was able to convince. So you know it was a good thing.
That's right.
And definitely I want to say thank you so much for all the expressions of support, and thank you as well, William Nana, for also believing in me and trusting that I would have been able certainly to make that contribution to what we're able to enjoy for today here at Tobago Updates. Thank you for that trust in me.
Of course, and thank you, Julian, for sparing. I know you're very busy in the position that you hold now, and thank you so much for joining us this morning and for co-hosting with me one more time. I feel very honored for that, and of course, I want you to take this segment out and hand over to the sports segment.
Yes, and I just want to very quickly before I take it out, and it's one of the viewers just mentioned, his mom's blessings is on him. And folks, for those of you who don't know, most certainly, I just want to, after God, express that appreciation and thanks. My family in the mix looking on this morning, Laverne, Lavienne, love you all so much, and thank you. That's my immediate family circle, and by extension, my dad. My mom is no longer here; she has passed on. But just as the viewer said, I am convinced she lived her life in a particular way that she always said the good work that she has done, her blessings will indeed continue to fall, and it's a reminder for our parents. My dad that's looking on this morning, my grandmother, each and every one of you outside, all the family members in the mix there, the in-laws, everybody, I want to say thank you so much. I also want to express my sincere appreciation and thanks even to those of you on the outside there, the division that I'm now working along with, the staff at the Division of Tourism, Secretary Boris, the entire team, and the staff and so on. Thank you so much for the love and support and the encouragement, and in fact all of you throughout the Tobago House of Assembly, those of you far and wide in the mix, those in Tobago, in Trinidad, the region and the world at large that have reached out to me, friends and family, and even some who just met me here on Tobago Updates, to extend congratulations and best wishes wishes. I want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you, even my friends in the media fraternity. Elizabeth Williams on the mix outside there, Kyron outside there, Kyron Reed, to each and every one of you, Carissa Douglas, all of you in the media circle. I want to say thank you. The Credit Union Movement, Cooperative Credit Union League, very own Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago Regional Chapter, and the list really goes on, but I really want to just pause this morning to say thank you so much to each and every one of you. Even if I have not yet cleared that 300 plus messages, I am following and I am going through most certainly, and I want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you. And my one request, as I continue to encourage and to admonish all, as we do good and we are able to move forward, let's not forget God in everything. And that message was clear along the way as we continue to strive to make a difference. And I will commit to make every effort I can to make that difference as I continue to go forward. And if anything at all that you can do for me, remember me in your prayers, most certainly. And once again, I want to say thank you very much. And of course, for being here this morning. Thank you, Tobago Updates, for giving me this opportunity to guest host. And I will close in the same vein as it relates to, just as my parents would have taught me, that gentle reminder of Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. At this point, viewers, we want to thank you so much for the continued love and support as we head on over to our sports segment. Let's make sure Marcus gets in his full time this morning. Good morning to you. So remember, viewers, as we head on out, who knows, you may see me guest hosting sometime again in the future. But as we head on out, we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the life, share the life, share the life.
Come jump in the range and drop money that you want your money mean. Don't need your love that I cost me for pay. Like King Solomon, a bag a girl to me name. Every girl broke out, Lord, broke out. Me say hot girl and that's your time to step out. Big bumper girl, your time to get strap out. Hand on your knee, treat a girl and your body. And every girl I get wild out tonight. Why? Party in my out tonight. If she suck me a fine out tonight. I you know Roger wild out tonight. Out the blue light, yeah, try out the back.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Tobago Updates Television. And we are now into the sporting segment. And of course, I want to join the chorus this morning. Of course, I'm wishing Julian Skit all the best in his new capacity as administrator in the Tobago House of Assembly. And of course, he has been a wonderful host here on the morning show. I know the guys here who normally co-host with him will miss him, and the viewers as well. But yeah, always room for good in this industry. So we are now into the sporting segment. I have two interesting interviews lined up this morning. We're going to firstly hear from Kevin Woodley. Recently made his debut for the national team, the national football team, the senior men's football team. And later on we're going to hear from the golfers talking about some interesting things there. I'm already seeing Kevin online. Kevin, good morning.
Yeah, morning everyone. To the whole nation in Tobago.
Fantastic. I like your choice of jersey this morning.
Yeah, well, I represent.
And first, let me say congratulations on you on, of course, making your debut with the Trinidad and Tobago men's senior football team.
Yeah, thanks.
Fantastic. I mean, Kevin, 37 years young. When you got that call to get into the training camp and to represent the Trinidad and Tobago team against the Guyanese team in those two friendlies, what was the feeling like?
Well, that feeling was by the Friday. Well, I went out. When I come back and I see the missed call, I called back and it was on the sheet. So, but my skin, like, I started crying, like tears coming out of my eye. I said, "What? Why really get this call, boy?" Well, in my mind, I say, "Yeah, boy, I really need this call. Although they submit the team." I said, "Nah, boy, I have to get this call, but yeah, this call, but nah, I'm doing my best. I'm doing what I do." So, yeah, I was feeling that kind of way. Tears come to my eyes, so it was normal.
Yeah, I can understand that feeling. I mean, you've waited so long to don the colours of the national team on, in terms of grass, because I know you represented the national team when it comes to beach soccer. I mean, in the dressing room itself, I mean, how was the feeling there? The chemistry. Did you feel like out of place being amongst the younger players within the team that was selected for the matches?
Well, as I say, I'm 37 years of age, and it's under the same sun, accustomed to the music of a stadium, and most important, he's a leader. So he come natural to me. It was a natural moment for me because I senior plenty of the guys on them. I play with one or two of them club, play against them. It's normal, it's a normal feeling, man.
And what was that feeling like when you scored your first goal? What was that feeling like? Let's take me to that emotion.
Yeah, well, you know, scoring goals is my thing. That's my job. I'm a striker. So, but to get my first goal for the national team, I will give God thanks and praise for that first one. I say, yes, I get the first one. The first one is a start and many more to come.
Fantastic. I mean, is this a dream come true for you, Kevin?
Yeah, definitely. It's a dream come true. I really wanted this. I always say I want one chance, but you know what? Your transport to the mind. That what happened. And it really happened, but yeah, that's my thing, man.
And why you think it took so long for you to be recognized? Because I mean, Kevin Woodley Kevin Showtime Woodley is a household name in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to scoring goals. I mean, why you think it took so long for you to get this opportunity to represent the country you love so much?
Well, you know, the administration, well, them doing their work. Them know who they pick, who they like, who they pick. So I think the God know best. The God will say this is my time and it's showtime now. So my time
and in terms of that showtime, I mean, where did it originate? I mean, how did you get that name or that nickname Showtime?
Well, it's one of me from a guy who named Anthony Caesar from Charlottesville. He's an entertainer, he's a singer. So he just come up with that name by Showtime. And that name just stick on me.
I like that. I mean, Showtime, 37 years of age. I mean, how long again you think you can play the game for?
Well, I looking at 3 years. Once I keep my body. At this point in time, I have a personal trainer. So I just want to just keep my body feeling good and going forward from there for 3-4 years again.
Yeah, because that was my next question to you in terms of, I mean, what's your diet like? How do you keep yourself fit? Because you are playing at the highest level in Trinidad, the Trinidad and Tobago Premier League Tier 1, and you are actually the leading goal scorer. How many goals you have so far?
16 goals.
16 goals, inclusive of what, 2 hat-tricks as well?
Yeah, 15 games. Now, 1 hat-trick for the season.
1 hat-trick. I mean, so outside of the personal trainer, what do you really do to really keep yourself motivated and keep yourself fit?
Well, eat. I don't eat right. I know I'm from Charlottesville, so I born with. I know I really grew up on this fast food.
Mm-hmm.
I know about picking our breadfruit. I know about roasting our breadfruit and that keeping it for the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
I know what them things. So natural cooked food, I like cooked food.
Right. That's good advice, man. Yeah. I mean, what would you want to tell to other youngsters aspiring to get onto the national team? Because you waited very long to get onto the team. What advice would you want to give those youngsters really knocking on the door, but they believe that they're not getting the opportunity to get in?
Yeah, well, let's keep focused. Keep to your main target. In your mind, you believe. Most important, believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And don't keep your eye off at the target. Therefore, and let's keep on working hard like me.
Mm.
Let's work hard.
Is this the best season? Is this the best season for you in terms of top flight football?
No. I think I have a better season than this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a better season, like 2018. I feel that was one of my best seasons, but it was the lower division of football, and I think I had 21 goals.
21 goals, right?
Yeah, 21 goals so far. Score about 26 for the whole season, but in the league, I scored 21. So
that's fantastic. I mean, who are some of the teams that you have represented over your career?
Well, first, I play with Charlottesville Unifiers.
Right.
Then I leave and go Petrotrin. I leave Petrotrin, I went W Connection. I leave W Connection, I head back to Tobago, to Mrs. Island. I went to Tobago United.
Mm-hmm.
I went Caledonia after. I come back home, I went Malabar United. Come back, went Club Sando. And now I come back to Caledonia. And I feel I will end my career right there in Caledonia.
All right, and Caledonia is due to play against Phoenix this weekend, Sunday at the Dwight York Stadium. And it's a battle to see which team can finish at number 6. 6 versus 7, Phoenix at 7th, Caledonia at 6th. I mean, tell me about that match. How are you preparing for that match? And are you excited to play against Phoenix and actually playing at home this weekend?
Well, you know, as I coming home, Kevin only coming home, so I want the supporters to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that's gonna be one of my best games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
As I say, after this interview, I going straight to training now and put in some work today and tomorrow. So I know Phoenix are the brace themselves.
I like that one. So is this the end for you when it comes to representing the country at the beach soccer?
Yeah, I think I put it down. I put it down. I done my best. I got at least about 30-something goals. I lead the leading scorer on the team. I'm about the 7th in CONCACAF region with 26 goals. So the younger guys are the very younger guys with the son. You know, the son is a 3 minutes alone come like a whole 90 minutes in the grass football. So it's really tough. I feel it's harder than the 90 minutes games.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff, Kevin Woodley. And of course, just before I let you go, I want to wish you all the best. I congratulate you, of course, on making your debut, scoring those goals. What's next for the national team, though? Have you been told what's next for you and the national team?
Yeah, well, I think I made the 30-man. The 30-man squad, well, although he didn't come out on the media yet, but right. I think I in the 30-man squad. Well, the squad got cut down to 23, but I just, as I say, keep on saying, believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And what you put in your mind is what you're going to get in reward. So I think in positive.
Yeah.
I just want to go and make my country proud. And work hard for my country, my family, who behind me. Let's do it for them, man.
Man, fantastic. So the 30-man squad is for the World Cup qualifiers?
Yeah, yes.
You're safe, man. You're safe, man. You're safe. You're safe.
Don't say that.
But yeah, I want to wish you all the best. I know that, as you mentioned, you work very hard for where you are at now, and of course the country. I mean, I'm sure you'll have seen all the messages on social media. You know, all of us in Tobago backing Kevin Showtime Woodley and ensuring that you have that spirit and that love from all of us in Tobago. And Trinidad and Tobago, 37 years strong. And you said that you have 3 more years. I mean, we're hoping to get to the World Cup, and I'm hoping that you are there to be a part of that journey and get us into that journey. So thank you so much for being here with us this morning. And I know that the Phoenix guys are coming out for you on Sunday. I'm going to be there to see that show.
I know. I come in for them. I come for them as well. So. Let her know Showtime is back. Showtime coming hard.
Have a wonderful rest of your day, Mr. Woodley.
It's going to be a nice game, man. So let the fans come out, come out and represent, man.
Yes, man. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you on Sunday.
All right, same to you, man.
Yeah, man. All right, so we've been chatting there with Kevin Showtime Woodley, national footballer. Recently made his debut for the national team after so many years of knocking on the door. But, time longer than twine, yes? So congratulations to him, and I wish him all the best going forward. Guys, we'll take a short break, but don't forget to share the live. When we come back, we're going to chat with the guys from Gulf. Yeah.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
No place like home, home, home.
Oh, I love Tobago, baby.
When we outside, it's an ocean of love. All that we align to the stars up above. Let we dance now, take a chance now with me. And we go jump till morning. Look, the moon gone sleeping. Tell them we not leaving till the last drop of a canal is madness in the capital. So I feel like I'm running tongue again. Jump and shake the ground again. Live with all my friends and them. No place like home, home, home. We go jump till the
love Tobago, baby.
When we outside, it's our ocean.
Smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hi viewers, welcome back to Tobago Updates Television. Thank you so much for staying tuned into the sporting segment. I want to thank everyone Woodley for joining us this morning. We are now joined by some golfers, budding golfers. Let me say good morning to Mr. Fitz, Neptune and Amari Wilson. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Tobago.
Thank you so much for being here with us. We're talking about an opportunity for a youngster to get out there to make a living in golf.
To make a living and get an opportunity just like Sammy Kojo got 8 years ago.
Right.
And he's presently out there, graduated from college. He got a big post at one of the major golf courses in North Carolina.
Right.
And now he's further himself to get on the PGA Tour.
And this has all been made possible by the Tobago Junior Golf Academy.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Which, of course, you are the managing director, president.
Yes.
So let's start off talking about the Tobago Junior Golf Academy.
Right.
Tell Tobago about the Tobago Junior Golf Academy.
Well, Tobago Junior Golf Academy was formed in 2007. It was the only academy in the Caribbean. And what happened is that during the 2000, 2001, when I came back from the US, I realized that Tobago was being taken advantage of.
In what way?
In the sense of when they go to Trinidad, you have to pay for plane ticket, hotel, meals. By the time you check, it's $5,000. And they didn't have the opportunity to get the scholarships like what the Trinidad counterpart was getting. So I decided to give this opportunity to the young men because I had certain information, living abroad. I had people who knows me. I had contacts, and I decided to tell the parents, I said, listen, I look at the kids and they were very talented, but just didn't get the opportunity like the Trinidad counterpart. So I decided to hook up with my academy abroad, and that's how it started. And I got two out, Samuel Kojo and Mickey Roberts. And this young man, I've been looking at him, and I think he should be the next Samuel Kojo. He's leaving on the 29th for trials to the 10th.
Right. 29th of this month.
Of July.
Of July.
Yeah. To the 10th of August. So they want to look at him.
Summertime.
Yeah.
Summertime.
Look at him and see how we can get a scholarship just like Samuel Kojo.
Yeah.
But there is a challenge.
What's the challenge?
A serious challenge is happening here in Tobago. I'm so happy that you were able to get me on the program so I could speak about this challenge. I've been out for the last few months because I went and do some eye surgery.
Right.
So I just came back. This young man should have been practicing, getting himself in a gear. And what happened is that he couldn't practice because of some stupid rule at Magdalena purported by the president of Bella Forma Golf Club. That rule is that there's a list that is presented to the pro shop. For 10 plus years, every Tobagonian that wanted to play golf have a local rate of 140. And I want Tobago to listen to me today, of 140. So I went to the pro shop and found out why he wasn't practicing. What is the reason? So when I went to the pro shop, because I don't like to hear hearsay, I like to deal with truth and the facts. The coordinator of the pro shop told me I have to speak to one Brendan Gray for him to get on the list. I said, but why is that? We are all Tobagonians. This is our land, and every Tobagonian from Charlottesville all the way down to Crown Point should be able to go, whether you belong to a club or not, and want to play golf. The local rate is 140. Why should he have and 20 others who plays golf from Bethel be removed from the list.
So you're saying that all Bethel players or members of the Tobago Junior Golf Academy, they can't go to Magdalena and train. That's what you're saying.
And train. Because it's $350.
So it's not because they're not blocked from participating, but they have to pay $350 to train.
Now, on that list, 90% on the list is Trinidadians, and they pay $140. Now, you could check, go and do your checking. How that is possible in this day and age? So Tobagonians, especially because the better golfers, for some reason, come from the Bethel area, Mount Pleasant, because of Mount Irving.
So you normally train at Mount Irving, right?
The Mount Irving is shut down.
Mount Irving shut down. So the only course right now is at Magdalena.
At Magdalena.
And at Mount Irving, what's the arrangement at Mount Irving?
There is not, because there is no golf course.
There's no golf. No, before it was shut down, you have a monthly fee you have to pay.
Yeah, Mount Irving you pay probably $50.
Okay.
Mr. York left that in place for his people.
So is it that at Magdalena for persons who are quote unquote outsiders, they have to pay more in that sense? But you're saying that the Trinidadians are paying less than what they want to charge the Tobagonians?
On the list.
On the list.
Because Brendan Gray is the one that makes up the list.
Yeah.
Now, what happened is that Bella Forma was the club for Magdalena, but is no longer the club. It is owned from the registry. When I checked the registry, it is now owned by Brendan Gray and his folks. So the list that is presented to the pro shop is telling me that in order to get this young man and the 20 boys from Bethel, I have to now call Brendan Gray to get him on the list.
So what has happened since you have found out?
Well, I have now gone to the Minister of Sports, Shamfa Kojo, but she's not here. She's in India. The new Secretary of Sport, when I leave here this morning, I'm going to go there because he has to play in the Prime Minister Golf Tournament next Saturday. He cannot practice. I have to get him in gear to take him up to Orlando. He's now going at a disadvantage.
So it's not that you can't practice, but you're not paying
There's no way I'm going to pay.
You're not paying that fee.
Why should Tobago pay $350?
So you're advocating for a reduced fee or no fee at all?
No.
You don't want.
Let's be fair with the 140.
So if across the board?
Across the board, for all Tobagonians. So if somebody from Charlottesville wants to come and play golf, they don't have to join your club because you said you have to go on the list. You know, another thing is very important. Tobagonians right now, he cannot play golf in the U.S. because he doesn't have a U.S. He does not have a handicap to participate when he goes up.
So you get the handicap by participating?
That's correct. Now, this is what I have to do in order to get him to participate in these tournaments when they go up to Orlando. I had to register him in the U.S. Could you imagine, man? In the U.S. in order for him to play in those tournaments. How that is possible, man?
So he's going to go to a pre-tournament before he actually goes to the tryouts?
No, he go into the tryouts first, and then they watch him, and then they will grade him, and then they will let him participate in those tournaments.
But he's skillful enough to get you without. Yes.
But it shouldn't be like that. So I am calling on Tobago to rally, because we cannot allow that 90% on the list is Trinidadians and Tobagonians have to pay $350.
I mean, I hope that situation.
It's going to solve.
Going to be addressed if that's the case. But I want to get to Mr. Wilson here. I mean, how are you feeling? Is this your first time getting out of Trinidad and Tobago to compete?
Yes, it's my first time getting out of Trinidad and Tobago to compete. Yes, sir.
And how are you feeling about that opportunity?
Blessed, because I know most children want to do that and can't. So I feel blessed to actually have the opportunity to do it.
Why golf though? Someone inspired you, or you're a family member playing golf?
I just wanted to be different. I wanted to stand out. Like everybody else play football and basketball and things. I wanted to stand out. I wanted to I wanted to play golf. And I did like the sport, so I just pursue it to see like if I can go somewhere with it.
How long have you been playing?
For like 8 years now, since I was like 6. 7 around there. Yeah.
Yeah. What has been your most difficult task in playing golf, or what would you say is the most difficult task as a golfer?
Picking shots correctly and picking the appropriate shots to like do the whole like shoot.
You go. What school you go to?
I used to go Harmons until 3rd form and at home school now. I have a private tutor now.
Oh, fantastic! So how are you managing the idea of the education and wanting to be a top class golfer?
I like it, so like I can do better. I can like do better and go out and like show other children that you can do it too. Yeah, because I went through real ups and downs to like be where I'm up to be like to represent myself as a Tobagonian to go up and shine.
Yeah, and you want to make it a career?
Yeah, I wanted to make it a career.
Fantastic. So tell me about the tryouts. Where is going to do the tryouts?
At Orlando Bishop Gates Golf Academy. That's where Samuel Kojo is, because I have a link. The owner of the academy knows me personally. So this is what I'm able to talk to him, because I always tell him, I say, Chief, we are in Tobago.
Yeah.
You are in the US. Our exchange is 7-1. So you cannot charge me, that. So you have to be even.
Yes,
so he smiled and he said, he said, really? I say, yes. I say, we have to find some TT dollars to give you $1 US. So, he works with me, and I'm really appreciative about that. So I could get these young people. I want to try and get a young lady, because I always get young boys, so I want to get a young lady to get that opportunity so she could also prosper and get the opportunity to move forward, for young people. Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, and golf is a sport I actually tried for the first time this year, and it brings satisfaction. And I can understand why so many young people are now gravitating to golf.
Yes.
For the work that you are doing with the Tobago Junior Golf Academy, and for all the others who are involved in golf. I mean, that situation with Magdalena, I hope that is addressed.
And
they can have persons.
It will be addressed today. Today is going to be.
They can have Mr. Wilson go and getting some practice before you get out there. Because we want another Samuel Kojo and others.
Of course, my brother. Because I have some sponsorship out there in the US right now. You see, he has grown since I reached. He's taller than me now. So now I have to get him all new golf clubs. Refitted. Because, you want to be fitted. When you go out there, competition is tough out there. It's really tough. But the beauty about golf at present in the US, the US doesn't care which country you come from. And this is why a lot of Asians take the opportunity, because most Black Americans don't like golf. It's basketball, football, but the PGA Tour of America, the USGA, is now looking at, I don't like use the word minorities, but most of the Black youths, to let them come in, because they're offering free scholarships. Once you have a good GPA, like Omari, continue with his work. This is why I told him, you got to get, so when you do your exams to get into college, it is important. Like Samuel Kojo, he did well.
It goes hand in hand.
Yes. So he now will get a free ride. Brother.
Thank you.
So that's
I expect best thing. And I want to wish you guys all the best, and thank you so much for coming here. Don't be a stranger at all. So we always welcome you guys back to talk about the goodness that you guys are doing when it comes to golf. Yes. We're gonna leave it there this morning. I want to thank you, and of course the viewers of the Tobago Update Television, the sports segment. A beautiful Friday. Thanks to Woods and the guys for allowing me the 30 minutes this morning. But before I go, I want to come in on me, producer, come in on me there. I want to encourage all of Tobago to go down to the airport tomorrow around 4 p.m. The ICC Men's T20 World Cup Trophy Tour. It's in the country. It's going to be at Trinidad in the morning period, then we come to Tobago in the afternoon, and it's going to happen from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. But you have the opportunity to take pictures with the trophy down there at the airport from 4 p.m. Then they're going to head into the Pigeon Point Heritage Park, where they're going to take photos of the trophy, and of course, you can participate as members of the public. Then they're going to head across head across to Buku, the Buku integrated facility where they're going to have games, entertainment. You're going to see Buccaneers, Adana, Tam Tam, Preety. They are going to be performing for you guys, OJ and Krish. So many things planned down there at the Buku Integrated Facility tomorrow. The ambassadors that they would have actually contracted to be a part of the tour: Joshua James, the West Indies emerging player; Kenya Yaya Kona, the women's international player. And also we're going to have Johnny the Gans, of course, who won gold at the recently held Character Games. You're going to also see Akane Hislop, Olympian. So many things in store for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Trophy Tour in Tobago tomorrow. Get down there to Buku. It's all free. Opportunity to win merch, yes. And viewers online, they can participate in the Make It to a Century event as well. And of course, win something for yourself and make sure to be a part of history. Get down there tomorrow at Buku. I want to thank you guys so much for being here this morning. I'm going to throw it over to Natalie. So good morning, Tobago. Don't forget to share the life, share the life, share the life.
Rock native Daniel Stewart, the owner of Frontline Flavors, is preserving Tobago's culinary traditions. Recently, she took her customers down memory lane with a Tobago fireside breakfast. Fire on top, fire below. Culinary traditions reflect the history, values, and beliefs of a community. According to Daniel, it's all about honoring our ancestors and the culinary legacy they have passed down through generations. Take a look at this video, which highlights it all. Recorded and edited by Melvern Isaac and produced by Industry Management.
Welcome to Frontline Flavors. This is a restaurant where we do mostly local cuisine. What we are doing today is doing a demonstration of how roast bake would have been done back in times of our ancestors, my grandparents. So in order to roast whatever meals they were preparing, they would have done it on the fireside, put it in the pot, and to trap the heat, they would have covered the pot, put the fire on top. Ducking of the bake is to allow the gases to escape so that you're not going to have a breath. So we're going to separate the coconut shell and the wood. So you're going to have less direct heat. If you leave it with too much heat, it's going to burn the outside and the inside is not going to be thick. But we realize at Frontline Flavors, our tradition is slowly dying. So this is one of the ways that we can ensure and preserve culture, making sure we continue this legacy. We are going to do the actual eating with butter, and I must say the first piece.
Well, I'm really impressed because I think it is so important to really, experience and also appreciate the cultural traditions.
One of the highlights is fire on top, the fire below. I really enjoy looking at that.
We have not had a shark attack in my years of scuba diving and being in the marine environment. We have never had an encounter such as that one. So we have to understand why is it that this happened, and understand that, listen, these creatures, that's their home, and being in the water as a diver and even as a swimmer, one of the inherent risks is encountering one of these creatures. Yeah, so I don't think that is a worry, but I think it's a wake-up call for us to make sure that we equip our lifeguards, equip our emergency responders, so that they know in the unlikely event of an incident like that, we know what to do. As divers, we would see sharks once in a while, but most of the time it's what we call provoked or unprovoked occurrences. So when we see them, they tend to avoid us. They don't like the human contact at all. We are not part of the ecosystem, so they don't know us as food. So the fear isn't there. The fear is mutual. They are more scared of us as we of them. Okay, so we just have to respect the animal.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Welcome back, viewers, and for those of you who stayed with us from our morning show, thank you for staying with us. I am Natalie C.D. Richardson, and here's your news in 90 seconds.
News in 90 seconds is brought to you by Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
A dancehall artist appeared virtually before Master Sukraj Goswami on May 16th for the shooting of 6 in Speyside, Tobago. Kalonji Arthur, 26 of Goldsboro, was granted bail of $1 million with surety or alternatively $100,000 on bail. The matter is set for hearing on February 26, 2025. Arthur was charged on May 15 with 6 counts of wounding with intent to do grievous bodily harm, shooting with intent, possession of a firearm to endanger life, possession of ammunition to endanger life, and possession of ammunition. The charges were laid by Sergeant Shepard of the Charlottesville Police Station. The investigation was led by Senior Superintendent Rodhill Kirk, with inquiries conducted by members of the Tobago Division, including officers from the Charlottesville Police, Roxborough Police, Criminal Investigation Department, Tobago Divisional Task Force, the K9 Unit, and the Criminal Record. Head of the Water and Sewerage Authority in Tobago Region, Brian Williams, addressed the challenges posed by recent hot weather and the measures being taken to mitigate water issues. Williams explained that below average rainfall and prolonged high temperatures have led to a decrease in the island's water supply. He highlighted that the Courland Water Treatment Plant, which serves southwest Tobago and the tourism hub, has seen its output drop daily since January. However, to address this water supply challenge caused by climate change, WASA plans to construct a new water treatment plant in Goldsboro, a desalination plant in Charlottesville, install new pipelines along Store Bay Local Road, and build new booster stations in Bloody Bay and Castara. Citizens are using higher amounts of electricity to beat the heat, with May recording the highest usage to date. The Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission reported continuous increases in demand, surpassing previous peaks. Despite having sufficient installed capacity to meet the surge, TNTech noted that increased demand has led to higher natural gas usage and encouraged conservation to mitigate the impact on natural gas availability. The And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Life is good with Zero. Zero interest for 6 months. Zero down payments. Zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Sitting with this morning in studio is Mr. Vidal. And Mr. Vidal is the chairman of the Dr. Eric Williams Memorial Committee. For those of you who may be hearing about this committee for the first time, they have had a presence in Tobago for some time. And of course, this organization is known for its Republic Day commemoration program. So, Mr. Vidal, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, and thanks for having me. And it's really a surprise having you as my interviewer. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mr. Vidal. So for viewers who are not familiar with this organization, tell us a little bit about the Dr. Eric Williams Memorial Committee.
The Dr. Eric Williams Memorial Committee was formed the year after Dr. Williams passed in 1981. It was started by my dear departed father, Captain Alwyn Vidal, ED. And on his passing in 1998, I made a commitment to him and I took up the mantle of continuing to keep the legacy and memory of Dr. Williams alive. So for the last 24, 26 years, I have been at the helm of this committee, and I have been leading what can be termed ensuring that the legacy and memory of the father of the nation is kept alive, notwithstanding that my efforts are seemingly not reaching where it's supposed to reach, because no one seems to really appreciate and recognize what Dr. Williams had done for this country.
Right.
Which is very indelible in terms of its relevance today. One looks at what is happening with the children. I mean, you have never heard so much being said and done about the children of our nation. And one has to go back to on the eve of independence in 1962, when Dr. Williams spoke to almost 30,000 children at a rally on the eve of independence at the Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain. And at that rally, he implored them to do several things in terms of a new nation being born and going forward. He asked them, you know, you got to respect your parents, your teachers, your national flag, your anthem, your birds. If someone gives you something, send you to buy something, make sure you give them back their change, be honest. He spoke also about you carry the future of the nation in your school bags. And he implored them to, you know, be part and be important to the development of the country at their young and tender age.
Right. And you hinted, Mr. Vidal, in terms of your organization's goal to have his legacy, Dr. Williams' legacy, live on. But when you talk about in the context of Tobago, because I've often heard, the older generation speak about how Dr. Williams would have treated Tobagonians at a certain time, and it's often not kind. So do you think that has that history or that hurt? Maybe the older generation is still hurting from that. Do you think that has something to do with maybe hindering that goal of your organization to celebrate Dr. Williams and ensure that his legacy lives on?
I don't think so. I think what transpired at that point in time was political, it was personal, but it was not Dr. Williams's feeling for Tobago.
Okay.
Dr. Williams had a very close affiliation. He liked Tobago. He liked the people of Tobago. But of course, politics has its thrusts and its all of that. So that perhaps at that time might have, as everything else.
Right.
But I don't think that has continued to be on the minds of the people of Tobago.
Right.
In point of fact, many people have approached me asking me why don't I have the wreath laying ceremony in Tobago? Why do I have it in Trinidad all the time?
Right.
Well, of course, Trinidad is where his memorial and his cenotaph is and where he was cremated.
Yes.
But the thing is, he was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
And the first one.
And the first chief minister, first of everything he was. Right? When you talk about independence, you talk about Dr. Williams. When you talk about republicanism, you talk about Dr. Williams.
He is critical to our history.
He is very critical, and that is maintained. As a matter of fact, he's more relevant today than quite possibly when he were, earlier years, because what he's asking for, what he asked for then, you are not seeing it much today.
Right.
He spoke about discipline, production, and tolerance. Are we a disciplined people?
Right.
Are we a tolerant people?
Right.
Are we a, productive people? I mean, these are the three fundamental qualities that Dr. Williams wanted for this country.
And I want us to talk about, you mentioned the wreath laying ceremony, and I know it's coming to Tobago. So tell us when this wreath laying ceremony is going to be held, where it is, and for those who may be interested, how can they be a part of this ceremony?
Well, the thing is, it's on Sunday, the 19th of May.
So that's this Sunday.
This Sunday at 10 o'clock. It is at the Espionage on Milford Road.
Right, the Esplanade right there. So that's not far from us right here at Fort Mall.
Right, it's going to be there. And of course, being the first time, and again, not being in Tobago so very long, this program this morning can be very useful as extending an invitation to as many who would like to come.
And so why don't you do that? You can speak to our viewers and invite them.
Well, certainly I would want to extend the most sincere invitation to all to attend the wreath laying ceremony on Sunday the 19th at the Esplanade on Milford Road in Tobago. Come on, come and witness what is happening for the very first time in the 43 years that Dr. Williams has passed on. Come and see the memory being relived in terms of his passing and, be part of it. I think we need to go back to many aspects of Dr. Williams' life and what he wanted for his people in Trinidad and Tobago, more so the children. And when you look at what is happening in Trinidad and in Tobago today, certainly it is not what Dr. Williams would have wanted and expected in the development process of both Tobago and Trinidad. And I think if he were wrong and reflect, I think he would be very, very disappointed, because what is Trinidad and Tobago today? Where are we going? What have we become? That is not what Dr. Williams wanted. And this is why his legacy and memory is always going to be maintained and sustained for as long as possible.
Right, so
we can't forget him.
So viewers, this is your opportunity to be a part of history in the making. For the very first time, this wreath laying ceremony will be held. And of course, you will hear a part of our history and bring the children as well. Sometimes, our curriculum doesn't allow too much time for what we may want to do. They may miss part of this in school. So bring them out. It can be a family event. It's 10 a.m. on the Esplanade on Sunday, and be a part of this historic event in Tobago happening for the very first time. So Mr. Vidal, we thank you for your time. We wish the committee and those who belong to this organization all the best and a very successful service Sunday morning.
Thank you very much. And we also would be awarding several Tobagonians with the Father of the Nation Medal of Honor for their contribution to Tobago over the years. And of course, we will also be paying tribute not just only to Dr. Williams.
Right.
We will be paying tribute to the likes of the late Mr. Ho Choi Charles.
Right, yes.
Dr. Jeff Davidson, and His Excellency Mr. Reginald Dumas.
Right, so we're talking about honoring those who would have sacrificed to build Tobago, and so that we can have privileges and certain rights. So be a part of that, and that will be Sunday morning. So thank you so much, Mr.
Natalie, if I could just 1 minute before we close.
Sure.
We have had in Tobago several heroes over the years. So Mr. Robinson coming up so many to mention. And more so in recent times, you've had the loss of 3 very significant people,
Yes.
which I would want to term as heroes of Tobago. And I would like to make a respectful submission and suggestion to those in authority to consider renaming James Park Tobago Heroes Park, so that all these heroes who have emerged over the years can be placed there, and of course, which would be a major tourism attraction that you can go there. So I would like to make a respectful request that James Park be renamed Tobago's Heroes Park.
Thank you very much for that suggestion. Viewers, we take a quick break and we'll be right back for our next guest. Who will our guest be? Well, you have to be here on the other side of the break to find out.
Never ever worry. 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 For the many stages of your life, Tata Life.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Viewers, you are viewing GMT on Tobago Updates, and we are live this morning. Sitting in studio with me is Mr. Anselm Richards, a Chief Technical Advisor to the Division of Finance, Trade and Economy. Mr. Richards, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning, Tobago, wherever in the world you are.
And we're getting right into our interview, and I want us to look at crime because, of course, we are up to murder 9 in Tobago, and I mean, for Tobago, that is very alarming.
Very alarming.
I mean, there have been years in the past, if you had 1 murder, that was 1 too many. Exactly. But we are in the month of May, and our statistics are revealing we are at 9 murders.
Yeah.
Quite sad, of course. And we had a senior superintendent on yesterday morning with Chanel, and they addressed the issue of crime as well because it's quite relevant. It's in front of us. And this morning, I want to take a different approach because we know we have the police force and we always will criticize them. But what I want us to look at us being responsible citizens. How do we get involved in crime fighting? And of course, get involved in terms of being safe and making sure we too keep the law as we pursue this.
Right. So that's a very important approach to crime and crime control, which is really the social control approach to crime, where we have to mobilize and organize and empower communities to participate and really take responsibility for the safety of the community, working in collaboration and in conjunction with the law enforcement community, co-creating solutions and strategy for the safety of the community. So that's very important. And I think that is one of the variables, or the key variable that has been missing from our approach to crime control in Trinidad and Tobago and probably across the region. So one of the things that we have to do in Tobago, we have to really create the environment that will promote and protect collective action, a collective social action from the community in terms of their fight against crime.
But who fosters that though?
Well, it has to be the community with the state providing the resources and creating that enabling environment. What we have to do, we have to build the social efficacy of the community, organizing them, creating the social systems and pathway for the efficient relationship between the community and the police.
Right.
We have to set up mechanism where, or even empowering the community to the point and explaining to the community and demonstrating to them in a real sense that illegal firearm in Tobago, wherever it is a threat to every Tobagoan and everywhere.
Right.
Because the way the situation is fluid, these violent acts are not confined or restricted to any locality or any community. It's a very fluid situation and it happens anywhere. And you don't necessarily have to be part of the game to be a collateral of the game.
That's right.
And therefore, once we come to that place, recognizing that illegal firearms and ammunition is a threat to all of us, then we have to come to that mental place in our minds and be decisively prepared to give up anyone who we know have an illegal firearm to law enforcement.
But many of us, and when I say us, I mean those of us who reside here, we've mentioned Trinidad, you know, many of us, and please, nobody come looking for me when I'm talking very general, I know nothing, you know, many of us protect those that are involved in this because that's somebody's son, that's my cousin, that's my nephew, that's the man up the road, you know, that kind of way, because we live in these close-knit societies.
Exactly.
And how do we really get us to change that mindset that we cannot continue to protect these people? Because as you rightfully said, any one of us can be caught in the crossfire. And we're talking about what seems to be an increased accessibility to firearms.
Definitely. Because you see, even in your home where you know your son or your daughter or your relative had an illegal firearm, that poses a threat to your safety, the safety of other members of the family. Because he may leave that firearm carelessly in the house, one of the children picks it up, bam, you have an accidental discharge, you have a fatality. So the illegal firearms are lethal threat, moving lethal threat to every single Tobagonian. And we have to come to that mental place where we are prepared as Tobagonians without giving consideration to who the individual is. Once we are aware that that individual has an illegal firearm, we have to be mentally prepared and socially divined to give that person up to law enforcement.
Right.
Because to do otherwise is to really be prepared to pay the protection costs for that person with the lives and blood of our brothers and sisters.
But sometimes the persons who have these illegal firearms, Mr. Richards, are the breadwinners. So I'm not going to sell my son out. I'm not going to sell my daughter out because they are the ones who are taking care of the family.
Yeah, and that's a legitimate and that might be a rational consideration. But you also have to extend that to the point that that person, based on what he is doing, that requires him or her to be in possession of an illegal firearm, brings a certain risk to you and your family.
Right.
That may be lethal and fatal.
Right.
And therefore you have to make the calculation. Do you want to eat and die anytime? Or do you want to eliminate that risk and eat little and live long? So those are the real those are the real consideration that has to be given to the situation.
Right.
And unless we come to that place where we can really deploy collective action, this is a call to action, you know, collective action. I mean, all of us have to come to that place to make these decisions and to work with law enforcement to get rid of the firearms and ammunition on our streets and in our villages that are causing the blood and lives of our brothers and sisters to go down the drain.
Right.
It's not a healthy situation. It runs against the very nature of our being as Tobagonians. The things that define us as Tobagonians are our caring, loving, peaceful way of life that have defined and promote our annual harvest festival, where you can go from house to house in any village annually and be entertained with food and beverages without being even asked your name, who is your relative, what religion you are, what political party you support.
Right.
And this emerging culture of gun violence is a clear and present danger to our way of life. And it's either we want to is either we want to normalize gun violence in this small island, or we want to defeat it.
But I think we know we have to do something. But who is going to rise to the challenge to bring us? Because we are people, we need mobilizing. So we know these are the things we should be doing or we have to do. And I hear you when you say, we need to do this. But I'm trying to figure out who brings us to this point. So we have TTPS who would have town meetings, and you hear the great plans and what they will do and what they have done, and you hear members of the community explaining what some challenges are. And out of these, you do see some resolution to some of the issues. But a lot of things are still not very visible to us. So I guess that's why sometimes you have that kind of disconnect between TTPS and communities, because the communities are always crying out for more. And I can tell you, even in my community, I don't see any police doing any kind of parole, passing by. At one point, you saw them patrolling, right? And that kind of thing. And you don't see it. You don't. So there's this kind of absence, and I know they can only do so much. Many of you officers, I know you are very hard working, and you can only do so much in terms of what your system may allow you to do.
But they can do so much more
right.
also.
Yeah, because you can do patrols. And I remember when we had two foreigners who were put in charge of the TTPS, there was a big backlash. But these two individuals, right, what they were encouraging and what they would have set up is why we have beds and dorms in a police station, why people having big cook and big lime. You have to be out on the street.
Beat and patrol. Beat and patrol is a microstructure of policing. Coming from the police service myself.
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yes, I am. Somebody whispered that to me yesterday.
So that's the microstructure of policing, and we really have to get back to that. And there are serious fixes to be had, or to be had and to be done with the law enforcement community, especially the police service. But the entire criminal justice system is something that we need to sit down and do a real review and reform of. Ivor Archie has work to do with the dispensation of justice as the Chief Justice. There's significant work for Mr. Archie and his team to do. There is no way we can justify matters taking 10 and 15 years to be completed, and decision to be had and justice to be dispensed in our criminal justice system. Some people say we don't have a justice system. What we have is a legal system, because justice is not being had. And therefore we have to transform that from a legal system to a justice system. And that falls squarely in Ivor Archie's domain. And there's fixes to be had with the prison system, how that operates and how we reform our prisoners. And there's also the need for the people to be mobilized and organized. And if you listen to the Chief Secretary, he's on that pathway where he's saying that the sustainability of safety and security and the promotion of that is really resident in how we mobilize our communities and our villages and to respond to the crime situation. And his mantra is that wherever in this space you are, in your homes, in your workplace, in your places of worship, in your social groups, you have to take that collective position that you are going to give up anyone, whether your daughter, your son, your friend, because who is in possession of an illegal firearm to law enforcement. If we are not prepared to do that, then we have to be prepared to live with gun violence. We have to be prepared for a normalization or normalizing of gun violence, right? Because there is no other way to win this battle but to deploy collective action. Right?
Do you think, because we're looking at changing mindsets, do you think one of the places that we can start this would be within our schools? And I know we have counselors and there are programs, but in terms of sustaining programs, making it consistent and not a one-off kind of have a lecture, talk to the kids, but setting up systems even within our schools to have this type of ongoing discussion. So you're kind of training their mind in a particular way, because right now, I mean, to be a bad boy, bad girl, like big thing.
So one of the quickest and fastest way to get this done and to create the kind of social transformation and change in the community and to get the kind of responses that are necessary from the people is to really start working with organized groups like schools, churches, youth groups, village council, the football football team, the fishermen who have the fishing organization. So you get massive people, because what we want to do, and let us be real, right? We don't expect to get a mass movement in everything, but what we have to do the things that will create the tipping point, a core social movement, enough to transform the situation, and then the other persons will come on board.
That's right.
So you have to target the thing very, very strategically and understand that you have to really create the social pathways in the community for these things to happen. We have to create new social institution and new social arrangement in the community that will empower people for them to feel safe, to take the necessary collective action that is required to promote and protect the kind of safety that we are accustomed to. If we sit down and do nothing, then we have to be prepared to take the consequences of doing nothing. And the consequences of doing nothing and being not participating or being inactive in terms of a response to what is happening in our society is to live with gun violence and murders.
And
it's just not a healthy option. That is not a healthy option.
Definitely
It is not an option at all.
Yeah.
This is something that the Chief Secretary is very dear to, and I think he will lead the transformation. And I think, as the leader of Tobago, I think the mantle fall at his feet to really come forward and create this new social construct as to how we are going to respond to gun violence. We are having the conversation, and I'm certain within the 48 hours he's going to have a serious conversation with Tobagonians as to how we are going to treat with this issue going forward.
Right, but it really, sometimes we think we have no power, but we do have power as a people, and it's I'm thinking of how the villages are, and I want to make reference to Charlottesville. Anybody from Charlottesville viewing this morning, fabulous Friday to you. And I always use Charlottesville as an example, because even now when you start to descend and you go into Charlottesville and people aren't familiar with you, people start asking questions. Definitely. You are flagged. So they would know if you're just a visitor passing through. They would know if you're somebody's cousin, where you're staying, how long you're staying, even before you settle in. And I think we have to come back somewhat to that. Not that you're in people's business, but you have to know who is around. Why are they there? And if you realize they're up to no good, then you need to, get the attention of the authorities. And if the bad elements know that they are not welcome, but when you go there, somebody else will come and pick you up, then they would have nowhere to be.
Well, that has been, that was part of our social construct many years ago, even in Belgarden where I grew up. Once you come into that village and you are not linked to a family in that village, then you are kept under surveillance.
Right.
And I'm telling you, Tobagonians are the best set of macos in the world. And if we should deploy that capability for this use against crime, I am certain by the end of the year, we'll get rid of all the guns and all the potential acts of violence in Tobago, because we have 65 to 70,000 Tobagonians, all of who are law enforcement cameras looking across the island. There cannot be a move in Tobago that we are not aware of, but we just have to create that social platform, that social safety net, that we know that when we respond in that way, we are protected. Because you see, the mantra here is that when you are safe, I am safe.
Yeah, definitely.
And that has to be our tagline in Tobago. So your safety is intrinsically linked to my safety. So that's the only way the entire island is going to be safe. And therefore we have to create the conversation, we have to create the awareness, and we have to empower our communities. We have to empower individuals to take action. Right? I think that we have resigned, or we have ceded our own social control responsibility in this situation and try to bank everything on the police. The police have plenty fixes to be done. We know that there are relationship issues, there are trust issues and all of that. But working with the police over time, those things can be mended, those things can be fixed, and we can have a real thriving social construct Tobago where we can walk freely, we can go back to those days where we can remove the burglar proofing from our homes.
Quite common.
And stop living in prisons. This is the capital of paradise. This is the greatest little island on the planet. And therefore, those are some of the defining social principles that we want to ensure that we enjoy here as a people.
Right. And at this point, we'll take a break, viewers, and when we return, we will shift our conversation a bit. So make sure you stay tuned.
Deltec Distributors Weekend Special. Wings Friday, 3 pounds wings, 2.5 kilogram fries. Special 100 TT. Soup Saturday, 2 pounds cube beef, 2 pounds cow heel, 2 pounds chicken foot, 2 pounds pigtail, or smoked bone. Special $150. Super Sunday, 3 pounds leg and thigh chicken, 3 pounds sliced pork, 3 pounds lamb slice, 3 pounds cheese, 2 pack of pasta. Special $250. Located Main Road, Argyle, Tobago. We deliver 20 TT. Contact us on deltecdistributors.com 395-5040 or 237-0102. Deltec Distributors Weekend Special.
She ride the wave, come jumping in range, 100 funny dance, much your money mean. Don't need your love, that I cost me fi pay. Like King Solomon, a bag a girl to me name. Every girl rock out, Lord, rock out. Me say hot girl, understand your time fi step out. Big bumper girl, your time fi get scrub out. Hand on your knee, you treat a girl and your and every girl get wild out tonight. Party in my out tonight. If she suck me a fine out tonight. I even know what a wild out tonight. Out the blue light, fi a try out the vibe. Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawn.
Welcome back, viewers, and of course a very interesting conversation about a topic that is impacting us here, and I just want to encourage us and tell us that we do have the power to take back our communities and our island. But I want us to talk now, and every time we have Mr. Richards, you know, the conversation must go in this direction. We can't allow it just to slip past. And we're talking about Tobago's economy. This is a topic that, depending on who you talk to, the economy could be good, it could be bad. But I want us to deal with the facts this morning. And looking at Tobago's economy, where does it stand from where you sit and in your expertise?
Well, the Tobago economy is still climbing out of the impact of COVID-19. And so we are probably what you might best describe in the recovery stages.
Right.
We have seen an extraordinary, exciting cruise ship season this year.
Right.
You know, every
Yes.
time you look, there was a cruise ship in the port.
Yeah.
So that is also a signal that things are recovering and returning to pre-COVID times. Right. They are also increasing the numbers of arrival by air out of Europe. However, we have noted some improvement in terms of the efficiency in transportation, inter-island transportation, and we must give some kind of congratulation or credit to the inter-island ferry services and the port as a whole. So there are those things that are happening. We are seeing an uptick in construction, in private construction. There are also projects that are being moved by the Tobago House Assembly. We still experience significant cash flow at the level of the THA, given that our budgetary allocations are still confined to the $300 million for development.
Right.
So that places us in a bind. We have been looking at options to augment that, and you will hear that the Chief Secretary have been speaking about the setting up of the Tobago Development Bank.
Yeah.
That project is proceeding with some level of accuracy and alacrity. We have on board a consultant working with us. We have secured the commitment of the IDB to provide technical support for that institution. That institution is intended to mobilize, to identify and mobilize capital for both the private and public sector development on the island. It is going to incorporate the activities that we are already doing at the division that includes BDU, the Business Development Unit, and the Venture Capital Unit.
Right.
They will be full into that new institution. So we create a more efficient and more impactful financial system, indigenous financial system in the context of Tobago, because what we have recognized over the years, even before coming into office, is that the traditional financial services sector, as we know it, the banks and so forth, their products and their offering are not sometimes uniquely designed to meet the needs of the Tobago business community. Right? It's a one-size-fits-all.
Yes.
The economic dynamics in Trinidad is quite different than what obtains in Tobago, and the kind of financing options and products and instruments that Tobago business needs are not necessarily made available
Right.
by the
And I'm
banks.
glad you made that point, because I'm thinking, Trinidad, you have a very large private sector. You have companies that have hundreds of employees. But when you look at Tobago, you see the Tobago House of Assembly as your main employer
Yes.
over the years. And you do have entrepreneurs on the island who, have that spirit and have been fighting over the years. But of course, the capacity is limited. It's only so much they can do or maybe expand to, given their limited resources or even limited, whether it's that know-how and yes, and market size. Because I've seen some Trinidad businesses try to set up here. But I always say, but does Tobago have the population to really drive? You're accustomed to the money moving quickly in Trinidad, but it's a whole different ball game here. How do we, encourage the entrepreneurs to keep pressing forward? Because every day you see some businesses close, but then you see others opening. Right. How do you encourage, people to...
So we recognize that it is the micro and medium size businesses that really drive the economic transformation as they move from small to medium to large. That is really the good part of the economy. But what is happening in the case of Tobago, as I said, the available of financing, because cash flow is really the lifeline of any business.
Yes.
Basic, that is business cash flow. How you manage that and the availability of working capital. So in recognition of that, and over the years, the teacher would have established the business development unit to provide grants and financing option and the venture capital to move that sector and to drive the economic development of the island. But what the numbers are saying now is that we need a bigger push than that.
Right.
The cottage style industry development approach to Tobago will not take us far.
Right.
And in the time that we have to travel the development pathway. And therefore, that's why we are moving towards the development bank that will bring that broader spectrum of financing option and to give businesses in Tobago a greater chance of remaining alive. What we can see in the current situation is that if you go to the commercial banks now, and we are not asking for any special favors to Tobago, but this is just the reality.
Yeah.
And you take a loan to start a business, and they give you the loan today. You start building the business, you have to start paying the interest month end.
Right. Yeah.
That you haven't the business is not open as yet.
Yeah.
But you start paying back a loan to do a business.
Right.
We may need, in our context, to create a financing option for startup businesses in Tobago, where they start paying the loan and even start paying the loan when the business start operating and start paying the interest when the business becomes viable. So there is really a managing of the costs associated with business financing. So you start paying the loan, which becomes part of your operational costs when the business become operational, and then you start paying the interest on the loan when the business become profitable.
Right. Yes.
Those are the kind of unique fixes that we need to do to drive the economy.
Because sometimes before you even start, you're broke.
You're broke because you pay. Sometimes it takes you 3 months to start the business up. You pay 3 months installment out of the same money you have borrowed, which impacts your cash flow and your ability to really provide the goods and services to keep the business afloat. So before you start, the financing model is not promoting of business as it is. So therefore we have to create special financial instruments and financing options that will give businesses a greater chance to be viable and to survive. So those are some of the things that we are looking at. We need, in the Tobago economy also, we need to really move in terms of our on-island production of goods and services, in terms of the Cove park and eco industry, where we can have Tobagonians doing their thing, making their sauces, whatever, and so we can put goods on the shelf of the supermarket in Tobago, and we can also export to the bigger market in Trinidad. So all those opportunities are what we are building on to really shift the Tobago economy. One of the things we have to also pay attention to, the quality of our human resources. Because businesses need people to do the work and to produce
help
the
drive the
business, and therefore we have to look at training, especially in the use of technology. Computer literacy, and it becomes a very important element in business management now. We have to look at our business person or business owner, the acumen of our business owners. How do we get them to understand there is a need for them to be compliant with their legislative obligation.
Yes.
File your NIS, file your VIR, file your VAT.
You have your employees, yes, make sure you pay their contributions
and so forth, and keep your books.
Yes.
Because when you go to the bank, or if you have to benefit from any financial support of the government, you have to have these legitimate reports that will give you a pathway to have access to these things. And therefore, there's that part of sensitization and development that is required in the Tobago space. We have to do some things differently. We have to see Tobago not only as the 116 square miles, but we have to start to tap into the diaspora as part of Tobago, the external, the third district of Tobago that is out there all over the world. How do we connect the diaspora to what we are doing and use the diaspora as part of our export market? So those are some of the strategies that we have to develop.
And you would have mentioned, in terms of using Cove and developing, whether it's manufacturing services or industries, to and how Tobago can contribute to the goods and services. So I want us to talk a little bit, because I heard something in the news this week about, GDP. So I want you to just, in the simplest form, explain GDP to our viewers and how what we do here contributes to it, and what a GDP really means for our country.
All right, the GDP is really the gross national product of the country, meaning it's the sum value of goods and services produced by the country for the year under review, right? So it's everything we do. We can measure it from value added, or we can measure it from the expenditure side. Any which way you get back to the gross national product, which is the sum of goods, the sum of goods and services produced that are calculated using certain methodology. We do the Tobago GDP at the Division of Finance, Dr. Hazel unit, which is the chief economist, and we have a methodology by which we do that. So what we do, we measure the production of what we produce in terms of tourism, government services, financial services sector, construction, agriculture, government. So we picked up value of all those things and sum them together and say, well, this is what we produce. Right, and this is the expenditure that is associated with that type of production.
And what does that figure, the Tobago figure, tell you about what's happening?
It tells you how the economy is moving, whether we are adding on what we did last year, or whether we are declining and we may be adding and we may be declining in some sectors. Some sectors may be going up. For instance, tourism might be growing, agriculture might be declining. So the movement in the total figure may be sector specific. So you have to go down and drill into the numbers and understand what is happening in the economy. So that will give us the data to know where we have to make the investment. Ask the question, why is it the agricultural sector is not growing beyond 1% of GDP? What we need to do differently? What type of investment we need to do? Do we need to introduce science and technology in the agricultural sector? Do we need to scale our production? Do we need to establish mega farms? Because we have to look at food security and food sovereignty. Because we have arable lands here. Are we going to continue to import and create jobs in Trinidad? Because when you import goods, you're creating jobs, because that employed people to make the goods.
And even when you mentioned like using Cove and what facilities might be there, even with these sauces, and I see, when I go to the supermarket, all these, whether it's garlic sauce or this, and it's not from Tobago, it's coming out of Trinidad. So the opportunities there, but as you said, sometimes the startup, it's a bit difficult. So you have people who may want to get into it, but the access to financing is often might be a challenge.
And even the technical support and so forth, the know-how and so forth. I think we have a good problem model in developing what we call bread and breakfast business, tourism, because that is one of the pathway the THA has developed and is developing an investment prospectus for Tobago. We will show foreign direct investors where are the areas that are available for investment. The Chief Secretary was in England a few weeks ago doing a talk to the international community on investment options in Tobago. We have certain areas designated for the development of resorts, like the Colonial Estate comes with over 100 acres and approval for the construction of accommodation and villas and all of that. And an investor can come in, sign a PPP with the THA, and the THA equity in the development project can be the value of the land, and we have an equity holding in that establishment. We get profit at the end of the day. So we have a model that the administration is pushing to move and to give an uptick to the economic development of Tobago.
Right.
Some people may feel that it is taking long, but the issue is that you have to line up your ducks.
Right, yes.
You have, if you want to build sustainability and resilience in the kind of fluid environment we are living, I'm not advocating that you will stand up forever, but there's certainly some technical calculation that you must get right. Right? To really ensure that the foundation of your investment and your development are solid.
And again, I always go back to the how, because, you know, policies are in place and all these great plans, you have the data driving decisions, but the human resource aspect of it, the people, the buy-in to it, we have so many teenagers finishing A-levels, even fifth form, going off to university, but in their mind, they come back home because they want a THA work. At the end of the day, that's the kind of mindset, and you hear people, the young people, talk about it. How do you encourage the entrepreneurial? You have your theory, you went your study, you're supposed to come back, you know, with all these bright ideas. How do you now get that group of young persons to understand, hey, THA employment is not the wear it all. You can think, be creative.
Is that the most viable option for employment?
Right. So how do you, you know, again, go back to changing minds, letting people know there are other options in entrepreneurial? I see there are some families in Trinidad that, you know, they own the manufacturing industries, and their children go off to study and come back in the business, and in the next 3-4 years you see a whole revolution, because there's always that growth after they bring the new mindset back into the business.
Right. So there will be a need for a culture shift in that kind of approach. We have been socialized that, you know, go and get a government work early morning, work and you get a pension at the end of the day. But we have to come to the place where we say to our children that, look, working for the government is not the best or the most viable option. Because when you work for the government takes its taxes from you first and then pay you your salary after. When you work for yourself, you pay yourself the salary you think you deserve, and then you pay the government its taxes after. Right. And more than that, when you are a mental worker and you are selling your mental faculties for the government, it is very difficult for you to leave a sustainable heritage for your children.
Right.
Because I assure you, I've noticed it across Tobago that when a family doesn't have a business or anything, and the parent who was working for the government dies, there's a kind of downhill for that family, because the children, especially if the children have not gone on to do more than what the parents would do. There will always be an economic challenge for that family, because there is not a legacy in terms of a vehicle that can generate revenue and earnings for that family, right? And if you look at some of the families that have businesses over the years and it moved from generation to generation, you see a certain level of stability in those families. So we really have to have the conversation with our children, and we have to probably start at the school level to let them know, like, the way you build sustainability is to really be creative in how you do things, and to create businesses and to create new products and so forth. And that's how we're going to create the change in the game.
And even the parents who are the business owners, don't make the business sound like such a heavy burden. You're scaring your children, because you hear some of the children say, I don't want to go through that stress mommy just go through, or daddy going through.
And get the children involved in the business early. We have seen, if you go south of the Culinary Bridge and you go to the businesses, you see the 8-year-old and the 9-year-old cashing it.
Definitely.
So you see why when they go off, they're coming back to cash?
And that they understand that's their legacy.
They understand that's their legacy. But we will have a business, and we don't want the children to touch the money, and we don't want them to touch the cash register, and we're hiding everything from our children. Get them involved, expose them, make them directors once they become 18. Let them handle the vehicle, let them lift the goods and pack the shelf, and understand how the thing works, because that is how continuity takes place. You know, so we have to get our children in, we have to build families, or family-owned businesses, community-based
family-owned businesses. We go back to the point of being sustainable.
You know, I'm saying this because I come from a business family. My father have never worked anywhere for the government. But he have left us a real legacy in Belgarden. You know, I think one of the largest business footprint in Tobago is strategically positioned. He have left revenue generating infrastructure for his family. So from that kind of legacy, it will be a failure for my father for me not to ensure that the next generation and succeeding generation continues to build on that foundation that he would have left for us to inherit.
Right.
You know?
And everything really, ties in, because sometimes, again, even like the situation with crime, because it's not happening in my yard, I pull myself. So even when we look at Tobago's development, we all have a part to play. It's about being sustainable, as you said, because even if the family businesses are doing well, Tobago is doing well.
Exactly. Right. And if Tobago is doing well, every Tobagoan is doing well.
Yeah.
And we have to, one of the things we have to understand in Tobago, and probably this will probably settle some of the anxiety that people out there may have, is that we all recognize that our developmental needs are significant and probably infinite.
Yeah.
But what we should also understand that we can't do everything at the same time.
Quite true.
And therefore the issue of selecting some key projects that are going to lay the foundation for a sustainable future development of the island is what is critical.
Yeah.
Because if everything is a priority, nothing gets done.
That is so true. Because reality is we have limited resources.
That's the
not because your project didn't get picked this time, all falls apart. Sometimes you just have to wait your turn.
Yes, and let me tell you, and it is not an issue, the Tobago Development Challenge is not really an issue of development planning. Because what we have done, we have reviewed all the development plans from 1962 to date.
Right.
That was done for Tobago. And what our research have revealed is that between 85 to 90% of those prescribed policies and programs have not been implemented.
Okay.
That is a manifestation of an implementation deficit, which is caused by a resources deficit, both human and financial resources and institutional capacity, which even make the requirement for us to be selective in what we do a little bit more urgent.
Yeah.
In how we do things. So once you have those numbers and those understanding before you, then the pathway to the development of the island or to the greatest island of the world becomes a little bit more clear and a little bit more defined.
Well, I want to thank you this morning for spending time with us, and viewers, I hope you took some points, because really and truly what I have heard with everything is said, the power belongs to us. We have to do, we have to get up, we have to contribute. So whether it is we are fighting against crime, yes, the TTPS is there to protect and serve, and they have their role, but we also have a part to play. They can't do it all. Most times a crime is solved because they got information from someone who may have witnessed, or whether they got footage from a CCTV, etc. So you have to get involved. Tobago's economy, Tobago's ours. We are here. We have children. We have to leave it in a state where they can continue to build. So I want to really thank you for sharing with us this morning, Mr. Richards. And of course, we would have you back some other time. I am sure about that. So viewers, get up, get out, and do stop waiting for somebody to give you a THA walk. You are creative.
Exactly.
You are brilliant. Sometimes it's a simple idea and you'd be amazed. I was at a forum recently as we wrap up, and it's a forum where it was business owners, and I overheard a young man talk about him starting a business and the money that he made in X amount of years, because he works government as well, and that's the typical thing we have here. And he said the money he made, if anybody told him he would make it, he would not have believed it.
Well, let me just give you this one before we leave. Last week, Saturday, I was driving across Blackrock by where we build the facility.
Yes. For beach volleyball. Yes.
And my 20-year-old son said to me, "Daddy, you all have to make better use of this facility." He said, "You know what you can do? You all can make this facility available to sports in organization that are training people to run, to do resistance training here."
Yes, right there. Just like that. Yes. Yeah. We have it. Yes.
Because these people living in a different time.
Yes.
They're in the same place, but they're in a different place.
Definitely.
And he was just because he used to do sprint.
Right.
So he understands how that facility can be used to strengthen our runners and create real runners.
Right.
He said, make this a facility available to our running organization, our athletes, to do resistance training in all of their development sports.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah. So viewers, thank you so much for spending your morning with me and with our guests, Mr. Vidal and Mr. Richards. It is Friday. Have a fabulous Friday. Be safe. I know we love weekends. Make use of your time. Thank you so much. And we join Chanel on Monday morning for GMT, and she will take you through a new week. All right. So be safe, whatever you do, wherever you go, and stay blessed.